So, KC, you got the Niners.
I was waiting for him to pop out the cuts. I was waiting to see if he was going to pop out.
The whole time. He was texting me.
Shout out to our guy, Manny, who was a star at Sac State on the football team.
I can't wait. I'm excited.
It'll be
Stingers up, baby. Stingers up, man. Always, baby.
Stingers up. All right. So, KC, you got the Niners.
All right, man. So it's like I said, man, I like what we're doing here on the spot a little bit. I'm gonna go through this schedule, see what I see, and I'm gonna preference this by saying I think the 49ers. Look, one thing people be like, "Oh, homer," all this other stuff. Not a homer. I don't hide my allegiances, but I'm not a homer. I'll keep it a stack, and when I keep it a stack, this team is one of the best rosters in football, hands down. Like, it just is what it is. You know what I mean? The only thing everybody is praying for around the league is that Brock Purdy was a flash in the pan, or that Trey Lance. That's what they're praying for, because they know if they any good, it might be a wrap. Like, that's all everybody keeps saying. Oh, they ain't got no quarterback. Yeah, you hoping they ain't got no quarterback, because you know if they do, it's over. So there's that. Now, the other thing I'll preference as well is I believe that it's going to be very, very important for Kyle Shanahan and that coaching staff and those players to have home field throughout the playoffs. The last two times they went to the NFC Championship game, they had to do it on the road, and you make the argument that cost them. You know what I mean? Having to go on the road. The year before with Jimmy Garoppolo, they had to play all three games on the road. This time, at least they had two games at home, but they still had to go to Philly. And a lot of that had to do with slow starts and having to get hot in the second half of the season to just get in the playoffs for one, and then in the last year to get the 2 seed. Say all that to say, I think they're going to prioritize the regular season and get in home field advantage about as much as any team in football this year. It's going to be very important for them to host the NFC Championship game. So I don't think they're going to play around. I think they're going to be ready to go from the start. And you look at the schedule, starts week 1 at Pittsburgh, that's a win. You go down to Levi South in week 2 at Los Angeles, that's definitely a win. They play the Giants on Thursday night, that's a win on the home opener. They play Arizona, that's a win at the crib. They got Dallas on Sunday Night Football at the crib, that's a win. You go to week 6, they got to follow that up going to Cleveland. That's where I have them getting their first loss of the season. Cleveland got a lot of talent. Deshaun Watson, I think he's going to be ready to play. I don't know how good Cleveland is going to be, but I think they'll be ready for that game to try and get the Niners their first loss. That's when I give them that first loss. After that, Monday night at Minnesota, I got the Niners winning that. And I'll say this as well. Cleveland and Minnesota, I think one of those are going to be a loss. If you want to switch them around, say they beat Cleveland, lose to Minnesota, that's fine too. But I think one of those are going to be a loss. So that's going to be their first loss. They got Cincinnati at home after that. I think they win that game. They got a bye week. They go to Jacksonville, which I'm not, making light of. Jacksonville, they may be ready to go this year, but I got the Niners winning that one. Week 11 at home against Tampa Bay. I got them winning that. And it's these next two. This is almost like I talked about with Cleveland and Minnesota. The Seattle game, my first thought is that's on Thanksgiving. That's a short week going to Seattle on the Thursday. I'm like, that's tough. You know what I mean? That might be a schedule loss right there. Then I thought about it. We beat the hell out of the Seahawks last year on a short week. We do it again. You know what I mean? So I'm going to chill, and I'm going to say they lose in Seattle because I for sure ain't saying they losing. I for sure ain't saying that. So they gonna lose to Seattle, and they gonna go into Philly on a mini bye, and they're gonna go in here, and they're gonna make the cry Eagles cry. That's what it's gonna say after that. Cry Eagles cry in that one right there.
I can't wait for Gillies. Can't wait for Gillies IG Live after the game.
That's all. I got them winning that one. Say Seattle beats them on Thanksgiving, they're going to come back and get backhanded like nothing we've ever seen before in week 14 when they come to Levi's. That's a win. Then they go to Arizona. That's a win. Then they got the Baltimore Ravens on Monday night on Christmas night. I agree with all you guys. Baltimore's the real deal, man. I love Lamar Jackson. that's going to be a tough game, but I just think about Baltimore flying cross country. I'll give the Niners that win. And at that point, I have them at 13-2, right? And at that point, they're going to do whatever they need to do. If they have the number 1 seed sewn up.
Could be locked up by then.
Yeah, it could be locked. If they have it sewn up, I think, it's a crapshoot in the next 2 games, which is Washington and the Rams. In an ideal situation, like if they're playing, I pick them to win both of those games, but they may not need them. If they don't need them, I got them winning. I got them losing both of those games, actually. So if they don't need them, I got them finishing. What would I have them at that point?
If they don't need them, it would be 13-4.
13-4. If they do need them, if they need one of them, they'll do whatever they need to do at that point. That's just basically what it is. If they need to win, they'll beat those 2 teams. If they need to win just one game, or the Washington game, they'll win that game and then do whatever they need to do. So for sake of argument, I'll say 14-3 is where I got the Niners finishing off. And I think they're that good, but I also think it's that important for them to get home field advantage.